baby is the size of an iPhone app icon, a 2x2 square Lego brick, and for you guys out there, a cufflink. This week, baby's primary reproductive organs are beginning to differentiate. Also, a lot of baby's facial features are becoming more distinct. Baby now has an upper lip, eyelids, and the tip of the nose is now more formed. Baby's tongue is also starting to grow inside of that little mouth. And the little paddles that are their hands and feet are starting to turn into fingers and toes. Hi guys, it's Amanda with Eat, Pray, Crunch, and welcome to week 8 of my pregnancy. If you are here for the first time, welcome. I'm so happy to be sharing this with you guys and building community with you guys. So if you guys are new around here, be sure to subscribe and hit the little bell next to the subscribe button so you can be sure to get a notification every time I put up a new video. So, this week's update is a little different than last week's update. Last week I was talking about how I had my absolute death day. And thankfully this week I have not had any of those. I have been feeling surprisingly good again. I feel like last week was the worst of it, and after I figured out my whole keeping my blood sugar up thing, I've been feeling good since. Now, that's not to say that I am not still struggling with fatigue, because I am still struggling with fatigue, and it is really hard for me to, get the energy and the motivation to do things most days. But I am not feeling very nauseous, and that makes all the difference in whether I can push through the fatigue. Because when I'm feeling nauseous on top of the fatigue, it's like, forget it, I'm going to bed, I'll see you tomorrow, When it's just the extreme fatigue that I'm dealing with, there are ways that I am able to push through that. So overall, I have been feeling really darn good this week, so I am thankful for that. So, because I've been feeling pretty good, there actually isn't a whole lot to update on this week. So, thankfully, unlike my last few updates, this will be a short one. This will be a nice short update. Main thing, like I said, is still the fatigue. That's still there, strong as ever. I am still trying to exercise every other day. I am trying to decrease my intensity just a little bit because I was going pretty hard before. But I'm trying to go for a little bit lower intensity for a longer time. So I was doing, a higher intensity for 30-40 minutes, and now I'm trying to do a little bit more of a moderate intensity and go for 50 minutes to an hour. So I have been doing that, and that my body is happy with that. It seems to be a good compromise for myself in this first trimester, and I intend to keep that up, and it still is helping with my energy when I make the point to exercise every other day as well. If you don't want to watch a video about TMI, don't watch pregnancy updates. Holy big boobs, Batman. Oh my god. So, the girls, yeah. I swear that at least 2 pounds of my weight gain are all in the chest area. This definitely happened with both of my other pregnancies as well. I know this is entirely normal. Even though this is my third child, it's still it takes me aback each time. Even though I know it's coming, it's just hello. And I've also been noticing that I am starting to get the blue veins on my body, and I know that's normal as well, just because you're having that increased blood flow. And I tend to have pretty visible veins as it is, but when I'm pregnant, holy cow, it's I have road map over my body. This week I actually pulled out my fetal Doppler, and I tried listening for baby's heartbeat this week. And I went into it knowing that this is week 8. I'm probably not going to find it. In my last pregnancy, I found a heartbeat at about 9 weeks, and so I was thinking, oh, well, I've read some accounts of people who are able to hear it partway into week 8. And so I've tried for the last day or two, and I haven't been able to hear it. I know that's one of the downsides of having a home Doppler is, especially when you use it early, it can make you freak out a little bit because oh no, where's the baby's heartbeat? But I also know in my head, it's normal to not find a heartbeat with a Doppler this early. I didn't until week 9 with my daughter, and some people don't until week 10 or 11. So I'll check in with you again next week to see, hopefully, fingers crossed, I will find it in week 9, which is only a few days away now. So I'm hoping, knock on wood. But I will admit that it did concerned me just a little. I was like, oh, well, I can't hear the heartbeat. I hope everything is okay. And so me being the somewhat paranoid person that I am, I actually still had a couple of those pregnancy tests, like cheapy internet pregnancy test strips left in my bathroom. And so I was like, maybe I should just take a test and make sure my hormones are still high and that line is still really dark. Foolish Amanda, I did that. And the line was lighter this week, and I freaked out about it a little bit. I was like, why is the line lighter this week? It wasn't like really faint, but it was light, you know, it wasn't as dark as the test line, and it was a little concerning to me. And so I was like, oh my god, like I hope everything is okay. So of course I went on to the Google and I looked up pregnancy test lines getting lighter at 8 weeks. And oftentimes Googling things is a really bad idea, but in this case it ended up being good because I learned something very interesting. And I had actually heard this before, but I had forgotten. You know, when your HCG pregnancy hormone levels get as high as they do into like week 7, week 8, you know, it's exponential at that point, and your hormone level is so high that when you use a pregnancy test strip, it like confuses the strip. It somehow draws like dye from the control line to the test line, or they had something that was called like the hook effect or something. I don't fully understand how it works, but they said one way you can test to see if that's what's happening is if you dilute your urine with half water. So it's half urine and half water. And oftentimes around this stage in gestation, when you take a pregnancy test with the diluted one, it actually will come out darker than the concentrated 100% P1. And so I was like, let's try this, because I still had like, you know, 10 of these little strips left. Like, what is there to lose? So I did that. I mixed my pee with half water and dipped the stick and waited 5 minutes, and what do you know? Sure enough, it was way darker, which is so interesting to me. I'll actually put in a picture right here so you can see what I'm talking about. So yeah, that top one is the 100% pee, and the bottom one is half diluted with water. So there you go. That gave me my answer and gave me a lot of peace of mind, actually. So this is one of those cases where I'm glad that I Googled it because it gave me peace of mind rather than making me worry even more. So that's good. That means that my pregnancy hormone levels are like really high. They're where they should be. That's where that's at. And speaking of pregnancy hormones, the last thing I was going to mention is I saw my primary care physician just to do a ultrasound checkup, because as I mentioned, in week 6 we had the ultrasound done, and I met with my doctor late last week to discuss the results with her and also get my progesterone levels tested. Because I had had them tested initially and they were good at that point, and she just wanted to test again just to make sure that I was still producing enough progesterone on my own. And the result came back from that, and she called me and said it is well within the normal range. You can choose to supplement with progesterone if you want to, but you are well within the normal range and you probably don't need to, which also gave me so much peace of mind. And you know, the last couple pregnancies I have used a progesterone supplement just because I had a history of miscarriage, and so it makes me feel good that I am getting through this pregnancy without having to do that. And I probably could have in the other pregnancies as well, but I just wanted to see this time if my body could do it on its own. And you know, she's been testing it just to make sure that it is, and had it been low, then obviously I would have gone on progesterone supplement. But I'm really glad that I am making it through this pregnancy without having to supplement progesterone. And I also think that might have something to do with me feeling so good as well. My doctor doesn't really think that would be the case, but I have a little bit of a feeling that might have something to do with it. Because when you're adding that much more progesterone to your body, that is the hormone that often gives you the first trimester symptoms. And so when you're adding that much more to your body, I feel like maybe that's partly at least why I felt so much sicker in my last pregnancies, and that the fatigue was like even more debilitating then. I mean, there's lots of pieces to the puzzle, but I think that that might be one of them. That's just my hypothesis. So anyway, that is it for this week. Like I say in every video, At the end of my pregnancy update videos in the end slate, I will have the corresponding video from my last pregnancy with the same corresponding week linked at the end of the video. It's really fun for me to go back and just compare. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching.